Hey guys, so we've got ongoing questions from clients that we get all the time in terms of roofing in Melbourne. So I thought I'd be able to answer it, and hopefully this is helpful. We'll put this up on our website as well in writing to show clients, what are the queries, what will help you as a client make a decision on what you want to do with your roof, if there is a repair or a renovation, or you want to make it look nice and new again. So a lot of times we get a question called, how do we waterproof a leaking roof? So waterproofing a leaking roof usually means a client is calling about a metal roof that's usually ColourBond that's got some leaks. So they want to waterproof it somehow. So there's many ways to do it. The first way to do it is if the holes in the roof are very small, then we can use a substance that we paint on, like liquid rubber. We can spray liquid flash. We can use spray paint it's like a film it can close small holes, and it can cover rust, so that it gives you a few more years before it gets worse because of the rust. So there's many ways, but essentially in your mind, what you're imagining is you've got a roof with little leaks, and you would fill the little leaks with a liquid, and we just paint it on or spray it on. And there's many different ways to do it, but the substances I'm talking about are super strong. They last a long time as well. Sometimes people are talking about their tiled roofs. So in tiled roof, the three main things you can do in a tiled roof is change the tile. Those angles at the top, they call them ridge caps. You can replace them, replace the tiles, or replace what it's sitting on. They call that mortar. And that will usually waterproof the roof, get it going again. Or underneath the tiles, there's a silver substance called sarking, and that needs to be replaced. So I hope that's answered the question, how do you waterproof a leaking roof? And that's pretty much it, yeah. Can a roof leak get into the wall? 100% it can. Water can start, in the middle of a house, go down. As it comes into the roof cavity, it can fall towards whichever way the house is falling, and then fall into where the wall and the brick is sitting, which is the wall cavity. So, and that can happen one way, or the gutters can overflow, and then that flat area outside of the roof, as the gutters overflow through underneath that flat area, the fascia, it'll flow in and into the cavity area. And then inside your house, as you look up on the wall, you'll see some watermarks there. Which coating is best for the roof? So it depends on how in-depth you want this conversation to go. So if you're painting a roof that's tiled, then you want to go a paint that is got like a 10 to 12 year guarantee. It's a more premium brand, like a well-known brand, because they've been tested over time and it can withstand the Australian sun. So which coating is best for a roof? So essentially you want to be using a very, very high quality paint. That's the main essential thing. And usually, if it's a cheaper paint, it's just been watered down, or it doesn't have the UV protection. So these paints over time have really proven themselves to have these capabilities. So it's about using one of the more premium brands, and we generally will use something like Dulux, and that's used for commercial sites, and because it's worked so well there, and it's Australia-wide renowned, then we'll use it on the residential sites as well. And then in terms of coating, if you're using a coating to protect your metal roof or give it a few more years, then again, you've got things like liquid rubber, liquid flash, and spray roof. Can ceiling cracks be repaired? Yes, 100%. So however large the crack, we can cut out the area, replace it, make it look all nice. Because the new area will need to be repainted, you may need to repaint the surrounding areas to make it all look the same. And sometimes if the ceiling is starting to sag, then it's that area that's sagging is not really repairable. You'll have to cut it out. If it's just a small crack running through the ceiling or the walls, then we can sand it down, fill it in with putty, sand it down again, and then put a primer and 2 coats of paint to make it look all nice and new again. How do we repair concrete roofs? So concrete roofs, generally people refer to concrete roofs as tiled roofs. So tiled roofs as a customer, you've got a few options. You've got to first of all find the leak, which will find exactly the point of the leak. We've got different ways. We can use dyes. We've got drones that can go up there. We can do water testing. We can use thermal detection to find the exact point of the leak. And as a client, your main decision is to go, do I want just a repair of that little section? Do I want to replace the tiles that's leaking or broken? Do I want to replace a large section? Do I want to rebed and remortar? Or do I want to renew the roof and make the whole roof repaint and make it look brand new and another 11 to 12 year warranty on it? Or do you want a new roof altogether, where we take the entire roof off, relay the sarking, which is like the bedding and the insulation, and then put a new roof on from scratch of tiles? So when people are referring to concrete roofs, they're usually referring to concrete tiled roofs. If you're referring to a roof in like an apartment or like a shop front where you've got these flat concrete roofs, so in those cases, usually it's going to be a waterproofing issue or a waterfall issue. So we really got to isolate where is the water pooling and find a way, okay, can we make the water flow into the right areas? Do we need to put a layer of waterproofing? Do we need to put a layer of concrete? Like it's like a very watery concrete that you lay over the area, and it will start to create a fall towards which way you want the water to fall. What's the difference between a roof and a re-roof? So if you want a new roof, that's where, like, if you've got a house currently standing, a new house being built, then we'll put a new roof on for you. If you want a re-roof, that means whatever house you have there, we can replace the roof with exactly the same roof. Or if you've got a tiled roof, you may want a metal roof. If you've got a metal roof, you might want to go to a metal tiled roof. So that's what's called a re-roof. You've got a current roof and you're making it, and you're putting a new roof on it from scratch. And once we open up the roof, there may be timber and breaks underneath it that we may need to fix as well. Can you repair a 2-layered roof? Yes, we can. Usually we'll get to a point where if there is already 2 layers there, then we've got the choice of trying to do patch repairs or to take everything off and start from scratch again. So usually once you get to 2 layers, putting a third layer will put too much weight on the roof potentially, and then that can risk the whole structure of the house. How do you visually inspect a roof? So we've got ways to visually, we'll look at the roof, we'll go inside the cavity, we'll look inside the house and try to follow it. And just generally looking at the flow of the house and the structure. How is your house built? Which way should the water be going? We've got instruments like thermal imaging, which is like a radar that will find leaks that the naked eye can't see. We can pour dye on your roof and follow the dye color and see which way the water is dripping to show where the leak may be coming from. Is a roof restoration better than a roof replacement? No, because you can't really say one or the other. Roof replacements are cheaper. Roof restorations are cheaper, and our job in a roof restoration is to jump on the roof and pretty much make it look brand new. You know, we'll wash it all down, make it all perfectly nice, get rid of all the moss and algae and dirt. We'll replace all those top broken areas of tiles, make it all structurally sound, and then we'll respray the roof with multiple coats to give you, and it'll look brand new, and it'll give you a warranty of 10 to 12 years on that. Is it better than a roof replacement? It's a lot cheaper, but you can't really say it's a better option, because some houses, especially around the water, have come to a point where you can't really restore the roof because it's too far gone. So you have really no choice but to replace it. So replacement has a much higher cost. We usually do it in a way where we don't disturb the client. So we'll do it quickly with a large team and finish it off really quickly, so you won't even notice that over a few days, and we'll make sure there's no rain coming in using tarps, that the whole roof will be replaced overnight. So to say, is a roof restoration better than a replacement? No. You can only really say that depends on your budget. If you've got a bigger budget, then you can get a roof replacement. And obviously, because if you replace the roof, you've got new tiles, you've got new bedding, the timbers will be changed underneath the roof, some if it needed, and then you've got a much higher quality product, but you've spent a lot more money on the material to get it done. How long does it take to replace a roof? Usually between 2 days to up to a week and a half. What is the best time of the year to replace a roof? generally speaking, either time of the year is okay. In the summertime, it can get a lot more rainier. So then, even though the weather is more stable, not stable, it's more sunny in the summertime, but it may not be that good because it's a lot rainier in summer. Winter, we find winter's a good time to replace roofs. So because it's the weather is a bit more predictable because there's less summer rains happening during that time. So what is the best time to replace a roof? I guess any time of the year is okay. We don't have large monsoons and stuff like that, in Australia. So except in the north, our Northern Territory, but over here, generally in the eastern, from New South Wales to Canberra to Victoria, then any time of the year is really okay. We'll have a bit of frost during the winter time, and during the summertime, it's usually, it's good weather to do it. It can get a little bit hot during the summer, but either time is okay. What colour roof lasts the longest? We definitely don't have any data on that. The only data that we have is the darker the colour of the roof, the more heat it absorbs. The lighter the colour, the more it reflects the heat. You can put certain tints in the roof colours to make it reflect more, but generally speaking, a white will reflect more than the darkness, but we don't have any real life data on which colour lasts the longest. Is slate good for roofs? Slate is a look that many people do like. It has a very unique look. So if people like that slate look, then go ahead. We're very good at it. And if the question is slate good for roofs? It's no better than tiles or ColourBond. They all will do a good job in making your roof secure. How long will a slate roof last? In Australia, we have less hailstorm and less storms. And so in the United States, if you live in a stormy or a haily area, then it doesn't last very long, between 5 to 11 years. And in Australia, it's known to last, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years because we don't have the large storms and hailstorms that they have in the United States. Do slate roofs rust? Underneath the slate roof, there can be metal battens which can rust, yes. But the slate roof itself usually doesn't rust. Is slate roofs waterproof? So it will keep the water out, but if there is excessive water or some kind of flooding, it won't. But there is never a situation where the water level has gone above the roof anyway. So in that case, the whole house will be flooded. So if you want to waterproof something, waterproof means to make it completely watertight. So if you were to get a hose and spray underneath the slate, then water may seep through. But that's not how the rain usually comes. Usually rain comes from an angle in towards the roof, and in that case it is water resistant, yes. Yep. And hopefully that's been helpful, Melbourne. Thank you.